Well, I'm a Spahn worker, and it fits me to a T. I'm a Spahn worker, and it fits me to a T. If you want some family conversation, come on and smoke a bowl with me. Take a tour with me now, down the Santa Susana Pass. I got lots of family knowledge, and I'm stoned off my ass. I'm a small ranch worker, and it fits me to a T. If you want some family conversation, come on and smoke a bowl with me. Stoner Van Houten.
Hey everybody, I'm back. Welcome to the Stoner Van Houten Show. It is December 2nd, 2017. I am back from the road trip down from Bakersfield, California, with all that drama going down there with the will and Manson's body and all that stuff, and we'll get to that a little bit later. First of all, I want to say it's good to be back home. It's actually kind of nice being on the road. It was fun and all. And the drama was fun, and it was all fun to be a part of that ride there with everything that went on there, but now it's just really good to be back home and stuff like that, and now we can talk about what happened over the weekend. First of all, one thing I want to say real quickly, well actually, let's just get right into it. Fuck all that other shit. So, now Charles Manson is passed away. So now we know that. Now the day's come, it's already here. November 19th, he passed away, we get it. Now we move forward, we go on. Don't worry, the world's still spinning. Oh my God, don't worry. But the funny part about that is a lot of people, a lot of you out there, a lot of people out there who are just like, we've been paying for that guy in our taxpayers' dollars, and it costs like $1 million a year. He's an old man. He requires more attention. Fuck that. Now we don't have to pay for him. Now we don't have to pay for him. He's dead. Yeah, the devil's dead. We don't have to pay taxes for him anymore. And I get it. And one thing you have to understand, people, is that housing an older inmate, a senior citizen in prison, costs way more than your average inmate who comes in the prison system at the age of, say, 18 to 25. That inmate from 18 to 25 honestly doesn't really require any medical attention at all unless he breaks something or gets stabbed. That's really about it. But he doesn't need to take pills, do this, get glasses, get dentures, do all that stuff. He doesn't have that because he's so young. He doesn't require much. So really all you're doing to him is just clothing him and feeding him, and then he'll go in the yard, do his burpees and stuff like that. But you have these older people now who are in prison, and I've been to prison, so I've seen it. And it is kind of weird. I would hate to be in prison like at 60 or 65 or 70 where you're not working out, can't play softball, you're not going to play basketball, no volleyball. Maybe you could play horseshoes, but you really can't do much. The activities for you are less and less and less because you're not as physical enough to do anything that all these young people can do out on the yard. So as your body deteriorates, you're going to require more and more attention. And that's with Manson, the same thing with him. He had a lot of health problems, so he did cost a lot of money for us to house him. I mean, he cost a lot of money. And everyone's like, all right, he passed away. We don't have to pay for that anymore. But one thing you don't understand, people, is that Charles Tex Watson is still alive and well. And apparently I've heard, I guess he moved now. He was in Ione, California, the prison up there, being a pastor. But now I've heard, I guess he's moved now. He's down in San Diego, I believe now, in a prison down in San Diego, I think. So Charles Tex Watson, the person that killed Sharon Tate, the baby, Jay Sebring, Stephen Parent, Wojtek Frykowski, Abigail Folgers, Rosemary and Leno LaBianca, and Shorty Shea. That person, Charles Tex Watson, he's alive and well, and he thinks he's a pastor of a church and all that fuck, and he's into this religious bullshit crap, and he's, all that stuff. He's doing that. He's a jailhouse Christian. We call them jailhouse Christians. Trust me, people. I know what a jailhouse Christian is. A jailhouse Christian is someone who's totally into the faith and all that stuff and into God. Yeah, it's all great. When you're locked up, as soon as they open that door, they're never going to open it in Texas case, but trust me, when they do open the door for these jailhouse Christians, the first thing they leave behind people is the Bible. That's the fucking first thing they throw down on that bunk, and they run out that door, and then their cellie grabs it and goes, hey, you forgot this, hey! And they're like, hey, we don't give a shit about that. See, that's a jailhouse Christian. And that's what Charles Tex Watson, the real murderer of this case, who's alive and well, and your tax dollars are paying for him to have a nice little life in prison. See, and that's the thing. You've been distracted by Charlie and the girls over here. Charlie and the girls, Charlie and the girls, Charlie and the girls, Charlie and the girls. That over here you didn't realize that Charles Tex Watson was murdering everyone. And he had his own shady deals going on. And he's selling drugs on the side. The wig shop, Jay Sebring, Vortek Verkowski. There was already shit going on. There was already shit going on well before he even joined the Manson family. See, and he's doing this over here, but the problem is you're only looking over here. Charlie and the girls, look at the young girls and Charlie playing guitar, and young girls and Charlie playing guitar. See, it's like a magician trying to show you a magic trick. Hey, look over this hand. Look over this hand. Here. See, this hand's the distraction. While over here, this hand's doing all the stabbing. See, that's what a magician does. He tricks you. And you've been tricked for 48 years into believing this whole story with Charlie and the girls and this and that, and didn't realize Charles Tex Watson had his own agenda and his own scheme and his own thing going on over here. But yet, it was all about Helter Skelter and the Beatles and fucking white people are stupid and black people are going to rise up and Blackie's going to kill them all. And fucking once they're done killing Whitey and getting back what they want from them, Manson's going to come out in the family from underneath a rock in the desert and go, okay, Blackie, step aside. We'll take it from here. Yeah, right. Give me a fucking break, man. You fucking believe that? I got some beachfront property for you in Colorado. I'd love to sell you. Ha! Motherfuckers. So listen. So, that's what it all is. See, you've been duped. You've been tricked. See, Charles Tex Watson, who murdered pretty much everyone except for Gary Henman. Think about that. He pretty much murdered everyone except for Gary Henman. He didn't kill Gary Henman. He had nothing to do with Gary Henman. Shorty Shea and everyone else, Tex Watson had a lot to do with all their deaths. So this guy is doing, he's alive and well, and your tax dollars are paying for him to bear 3 children, which he's done. He's gotten married. Since he's been locked up, I don't think he's married anymore. I think he's divorced now. But since he's been locked up, he's had 3 kids, a wife. He's gotten conjugal visits, going out getting a fresh piece of pussy and all that stuff and good food. And guess who's paying for it, people? Now, not the food part, but the conjugal visits part for the guards who watch them and all that stuff. You're paying for it. You're paying for it. You're paying for Charles Tex Watson to get laid and to have kids and everything. And that's what he did until that was put to an end, I believe, by Deborah Tate. But up until then, this man, I think that was right. Yeah.
Doris.
Oh, Doris, excuse me. Doris Tate. Not him. By Doris Tate. Doris Tate put an end to it. Thank you. Put an end to it. And that was that. But your tax dollars paid for him to have these kids, to have these visits, to have availability to food and everything. And yet nobody cried and gave a rat's ass, except for probably Doris Tate. But the only person on the fucking planet was her. But you didn't care, the taxpayers that were fucking paying. Because all you were distracted once again by Charlie and the girls, and all this Charlie and the girls shit. And you're wondering, like, why do I have to pay for this guy? Why am I paying all this tax dollars for this man? See, and now he's dead. You're thinking like, okay, I don't have to pay any more taxes anymore, and I can stop paying my taxes for this guy. And guess what? Over here, where the real incident, the real issue is, because you've been distracted, you've been paying too much attention over here. Over here, you have Charles Tex Watson, the real murderer, living a nice little life in prison off your wallet, off your hard-earned money. When you go to work every day, you put your 8 hours in, your 40 hours a week in, your 60 hours a week, 75 hours, how many fucking hours you fucking work. Well, guess who gets a little cut of that? Charles Tex Watson, baby. He gets a little cut of that so he could do his pastor thing in his church, and I'm a pastor, and I'm good, and I repented, even though I killed Sharon Tate and a baby, and then everybody else, Rosemary, and I shot Stephen Parent, and I fucking, and I killed fucking Jay Sebring and Vortek and yada yada and Abigail Folgers, and he probably even drinks fucking Folgers in the fucking prison, because I know for a fact that's the fucking coffee they sell you when you go to store. You know that for a fact when you go to the store in prison? Now, for those of you that have been to prison, You go to Canteen, and they'll sell you coffee. Now, I don't know about in certain prisons, not every prison, but I think in certain prisons you can get some Folgers in there. There you go. Isn't that ironic that he would actually be drinking Folgers? Now, maybe by now, because it's been a while since I've been in prison. Maybe now they've changed the menu, but I'm pretty sure at one time you could got Folgers. They may have gone generic now because it's cheaper for the state to sell you generic at a high price, so they can get the generic coffee real cheap and then sell it to you for like fucking $12 a fucking small pack. But you can get coffee in there. But to me, that would just be ironic. You see Charles Tex Watson in there, going over his morning sermon with a cup of Folgers. So look, I understand Manson's past, and there you go. So you don't have to pay your tax dollars for him, but now you're going to have to pay your real tax dollars for the real criminal here, and that's Charles Tex Watson, who murdered pretty much everyone and a baby, except for Gary Henman. He had nothing to do with Gary Henman. So you're off the hook there, Charles Tex Watson. And by the way, today is December 2nd, 2017. Today is Charles Tex Watson's 72nd birthday today. And I want to remind people he's still alive and well. Your tax dollars are going right to him right now as we speak. Ha ha ha. And I will be reminding you that he is alive and well. And the day that he dies, I hope he's front page news, and I hope he's just as big as Manson. And I hope when he dies, the headline reads, "The real killer of Helter Skelter is dead." Or it should just say the real killer of the Hocus Pocus Helter Skelter, because there was no such thing as Helter Skelter. That's just a bunch of bullshit. Really, so actually, you know what it really should say? The real killer is dead. Goodbye to 50 years of Helter Skelter. And that's the truth, man. There you go. You want some truth right there? He killed everybody. He has his own story. Whether you believe it or not, hey, man, Charles Tex Watson had a lot to do with all those individuals and that baby dying. The only thing you can't pin him on is Henman. So that's it. So now with that said, all about that Tex Watson stuff, let me just tell you what's been going on. I just filmed a segment for a TV show that's in New Zealand. They do these TV shows about quirky American tours. Why Americans take these quirky tours, and why people like me and Scott Michaels, why me and Scott Michaels give these tours. Now, Scott Michaels is from Dearly Departed Tours and Museum in Santa Monica, California. Look him up online. You can just Google him. He gives these fantastic tours he calls it the Helter Skelter Tour. It's all the Hollywood tour of Manson and the Manson family. He also donates proceeds from that tour to the Deborah Tate Foundation. He knows Deborah Tate. He's friends with Deborah Tate. So he pretty much sticks to the Helter Skelter theory and that, and stuff like that. That's what he pretty much does on his tour. He may have tweaked it out a little bit now to where it's Helter Skelter and then a possibility of a drug thing. I don't know. But pretty much he just sticks to the Helter Skelter theory and stuff like that, and then donates some of his proceeds to the Deborah Tate Foundation. Me and him are both working on this project together. So he was filmed, and then they came out to the San Fernando Valley out in Chatsworth, California, and filmed me at Spahn Ranch. I give Spahn Ranch tours for free. I don't do them as often as I used to because I don't live down there anymore. Times have changed. But when I do them, they're great. The last tour I actually did was Charles Manson's 83rd birthday, and we had about 45 people show up. It was phenomenal. So they came out and filmed my tour. They filmed the candlelight vigil I had at Spahn Ranch for Charles Manson. The only person on the planet having a candlelight vigil for him at Spahn Ranch. I had a cyberspace vigil here. You can go on my YouTube channel and just watch that. I had a cyberspace vigil, and then I actually had a candlelight vigil at Spahn Ranch, and that was actually rather interesting because rangers showed up, the police showed up, a big portion of the church that was there had shown up, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Not 1 ounce of drama happened. Everything went off without a hitch. Everything was fine. They were actually very, very surprised we were doing this. Once they realized what we were doing, everybody just seemed to back off. I mean, literally back off. I mean, even the police, I was surprised. The police, they had guns. They're the authority. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sitting there smoking a fucking doobie. You have the upper edge. You're the authority. You have the guns. You could just come down here with the flashlight, just tell us, pack it up, wrap it up, bring the squad car down, bring the paddy wagon down. You have all that authority. I'm telling you, they had all that control and yet decided not to do anything about it. I think once the police and the Rangers really realized and soaked in the situation of what they were looking at. They were looking at a candlelight vigil at the Manson Rock there at Spahn Ranch, a site that they've all seen many times, and they know we give tours there. It's part of a state park. You can be there legally. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with being there. But I think they were just in shock, literally. And I know this sounds weird, but this is just my opinion. I'm telling you, because I'm just thinking to myself, they have the upper edge. They're the authority. Honestly, I'm doing a couple things here maybe I shouldn't be doing. And they could just come down here and really make it a mess for me. And they didn't. They did not. They just were like literally, I think, kind of like in shock. They just backed up and said, look, let it just kind of like let it be. And if we just let it be, maybe it'll just go away. And it did. They backed up, left the area. We were able to have a vigil all the way up, well up till about 8 o'clock at night. Now, you have to understand now, because daylight savings time here in the West Coast in California, it gets dark here at 5 o'clock. State park rules state that you can only be in a state park from sun up to sundown. So as soon as the sun goes down, technically you have to leave the state park. And I knew this, but we were running late. The visual was running late, and we weren't able to get out of the park until about 8 o'clock at night. And it took 2 trips to get everything from the visual back up to the car. We left nothing behind. We cleaned up the area. There was not 1 ounce of trash. It actually looked beautiful by the time we left. We had our flashlights and everything so we could see the area. But when we had to make 2 trips, so we went up to the car, and when we came back down to the car, we have electric candles. See, these are electric candles that you see right here. They're just electric. We had a bunch of those set up, and we had them lit. And the Rangers had their lights down there with the church people, and there's the top of a hill right there where it kind of looks down at the Manson Rock. Well, they wouldn't come down. We came walking up. They flashed the flashlight on us and said, what are you guys doing? And I said, we're coming to get the rest of our stuff. We had a little service here, and now we're leaving. And the Rangers just said, okay, you have 10 minutes. And then my friend Tracy that was with us says, hey, man, we only need 5, man. And they did not come down at all. They didn't come anywhere near us. They just left us alone. We packed everything up. We went up to the car. Now, as soon as we got up to the car, they all came down. We could see all their flashlights and everything kind of like come down here, kind of search the area. Everything was fine. Then they went up and then got in their cars and took off. And that was it. Nothing happened. We went on our way. We actually went out to dinner, had a couple drinks. Actually, everything was fine. It was just actually kind of weird because the Rangers knew what we were doing there. The police knew what we were doing there. The church at Rocky Peak knew what we were doing there. And yet I think they were just very overwhelmed by the situation that they just figured, why make a big deal about this and give them more attention with, maybe arresting them or this or that, or maybe in the press, or they could say some stuff. Why don't we just let them kind of do their thing, let them finish up, and they'll go on their way. They're very clean. And we were extremely clean. Very clean. There was not 1 speck of fucking trash left there, because in all my videos I tell you, don't leave trash, don't make graffiti, whatever you bring in, bring out. We respect the park area. The only thing we were doing was just staying in there after dark. But it looked better with the candles all lit when it was all dark at the fucking ranch, so that was kind of cool. So the candlelight visual for Charles Manson at Spahn Ranch, which was, what was that? That was November 24th, 2017. It was from 12 noon to 8 o'clock at night, and it was great. We had people, looky-loos, coming in throughout the entire day. We had a lot of people show up. At one point, we had probably, people were just coming in and out. A lot of people didn't want to be filmed or photographed. A lot of them didn't, but anywhere from 50, 60 people just coming in and out. At the end, we were trying to get as many people as we could to sign this poster here. If you just came kind of like a guest list thing, if you showed up, we had people sign this. So anyone that we could, I don't even know who even signed the damn thing, sign the, hey, if you want to sign this. A lot of people would not sign it, and both these posters that you see here, we tried to get as many people as we could to sign it. But I'd probably say at the height of the whole thing, there was at least 50 to 60 people, and a lot of them were looky-loos who just could not believe. They could not believe what they were witnessing, but nobody caused a problem. Nobody caused a stink. Nobody, pulled out a gun and mowed us all down, which you probably would have loved. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there would have just loved that, wouldn't you, if we just all would have gotten mowed down. I know you haters out there, motherfuckers. You would have loved that. That didn't happen. Everything actually went on perfectly. Absolutely 100% perfectly. Perfect. It was just, it was perfect. Perfectly perfect. It was just perfect. I just can't believe. I was even, at the end, I was even like, okay, how did we not get in trouble? How did we just not get in fucking trouble? I know we weren't really doing anything wrong, but still, the police were there. I even had to look back at the end of the day and go, like, fucking A, dude, that was... I'm a bit surprised that we got away with that. So anyway, or not that we got away with it, but that it just went off without a hitch, without a problem. It went out, it was just fine. It's still, when I think about it now, it's still kind of just babbled. So anyway, so with that said, the vigil was great. The filming of this TV show that we're doing for New Zealand that comes out on Netflix next year. We did a day of filming on Saturday and another day of filming on Sunday, and that's going to be great. It's just about quirky American tours. I think you're really going to like it. And I actually can't wait to see that. So now with that said, we also had this drama whole thing of this weekend. We had the drama with Charles Manson's body. Who gets Charles Manson's body? This is awesome. We found out from the Daily News or Daily Mail or TMZ, from TMZ, that Charles Manson had left a will to a pen pal's Michael Channels, and then now you have people contesting the will. Jason Freeman, the grandson, him and his friend John Michael Jones, they're contesting it, and then also you have a third party, Matthew Roberts, who thinks he's Manson's son, but the whole DNA testing against Jason, it said it wasn't. Him and Mr. Ben so-and-so, they're working together, this third party. So now you have three different people with three different wills or paperwork or rights or whatever they have. I don't know. We've only seen two wills. We've seen Michael Channels, the one that he presented, and we've seen the one that Matthew has presented. Daily Mail posted that one, and then TMZ posted that. I'm not sure what Jason has. I think Jason might be going on the rights that he is the grandson. He really is, actually. And then because he is the grandson and a living member, he should be able to get the body, which actually makes good sense. If you think about it, if you would have thought about this months and months ago, before all the will things pop up, all of us would have just said, well, any member of his family should get the body. It's obvious, whether it would have been, Michael Bruner or Mary. They don't want to step forward. Whether it would have been them or Jason or whoever, don't you think it would have been one of those three? Now, if Michael and Mary don't want to step up, Michael Bruner and Mary Bruner, if they don't want to step up and claim it, that's fine. Then they should allow the next family member to step up, whoever that may be. And I know Manson, he's got an adopted sister, I think, like that. And then there's Jason. So we're going to see what happens here. So now it's a court battle. Now it's just a court battle. So now paperwork's going to have to be looked at. Judge is going to have to read everything. Everyone's going to have to present their case. Judge is going to have to read all sides, and then he's going to have to make a decision. I doubt any of this will be handled in the month of December. This month, there's no way. Half of this month doesn't even count because the second half of this month, everyone's going to be on vacation. You got Christmas, Hanukkah, all that stuff coming up, yada, yada, yada. So there's no way. Court's shutting down. If this actually gets done before Christmas, I'll be fucking blown away. There's no fucking way, dude. Come on, man. They're going to have to, judge takes time. Everything takes time. The court systems here in California are backed up anyway to get a court date. So this is probably going to open up, 2018 with, the battle for Manson's body. Here we go in court. And so, even though I'd like it to be wrapped up as possible because, look, man, just wrap it up, have a service, cremate his body, do what you're going to do, and lay him to rest, and then let's just move forward. Right now, he's just pretty much just sitting in the coroner's office up there at Bakersfield in the fridge right now, just sitting there, and he'll sit there as long until this whole battle gets done with. And who knows how long that's going to take, Like I said, if it gets done before Christmas, that's a fucking miracle, which I don't think is going to fucking happen. Everything in California, as far as the court system, is fucking slow. So, yeah, we're going to open up 2018 with more Manson stuff. So Manson is far from being out of the news. He may be passed away, but trust me, he's going to cause more stuff, more drama, even now in the afterlife than ever before. Just watch. Now, and remember, you still got the real killer sitting there in San Diego or Ione or wherever the fuck he is. Charles Tex Watson, you're paying taxes for him. Just remember, you're still paying taxes for the real killer still. So anyway, we have that going on. So you have this little TV show I'm working on over the weekend, and it's just about kooky American tours. No big deal. It should be kind of fun. Check it out. Next year on Netflix. And then you had Manson passing away, and he just happened to pass away the same weekend. We just happened to be filming this. The timing just really threw a screwball into the whole schedule of everything we were doing. Oh well. And then now this whole battle with the will. I hope all the parties that are involved with the will, I hope this doesn't cause like a big breakup, a friendship, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Really, look, I know how everybody feels about everybody. I know all three parties involved, and I know how each party feels about the other. So, look, I'm Stoner Van Houten. I'm a Spahn Ranch worker. I'm the guardian of the ranch. I'm the fucking janitor of the ranch. I push a broom, pick up cigarette butts, do all that kind of stuff, man. And that's what I'll always do. I'm just gonna leave this legal battle now to the big boys. Just like that fucking stupid Daily Mail quote when I was drunk and they called now. Yeah, and they called me. And I was just fucking with them. I'm gonna leave this big battle now in court to the big boys. Good luck, Michael Channels, and good luck, Jason Freeman, and good luck, Matthew. Hey, you guys can take care of it. I'm still going to do the ranch. I'm going to still do a tour. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start 2018 with my very first post Charles Manson tour with a dead Charles Manson. So this will be the very first time I will be giving a tour at Spahn Ranch with a dead Charles Manson now. See, now the next generation of kids that come up will have to learn about Charles Manson now in history books forever. There'll be no more living Manson. Those days of a living Manson are over. We were pretty much the last generation with the living Manson. And we know what it was like to live with him or write letters to him, get letters back from him, stuff like that. It was a little bit different. Now it's just going to be history book stuff. And so it's even going to be harder because it'll be easier for them to get to the younger generation and just throw them that bullshit propaganda, helter-skelter shit, and trick them into believing it. So we got to come up and we got to step up, and people like, not just me, but other people too, and make more YouTube channels and talk about how there's just something different here in this case. This case is not cut and dry. This case is just not helter-skelter. Vincent Bugliosi's book is a crock of shit. There's just really nothing good in it except for maybe wiping your ass with it and lighting it on fire. So the drama continues, people. It's good to be back home. This is Stoner Van Houten here. We have a lot going on for the rest of 2018. The battle over Manson's body. You have 3 different parties battling it over. Good luck to those 3, and let's see what happens with that. You have documentaries coming out. You have this Saturday and Sunday. You have the Reels channel with Manson's Last Words. Everyone is in that, from fucking George Stimson and Michael Channels and so and so and so and so. They're all in that too. So check that out. And then also on the History channel, I think Monday and Tuesday starts a big thing there. Check that out too. There's a lot of Manson stuff coming up. The 50th anniversary is coming up on August 8th, 2019. You're going to see more and more Charles Manson shoved down your throat. So trust me, get ready. Another mouthful of fucking Charles Manson is coming in 2018, baby. We're getting closer and closer and closer to the 50th. And I'm going to be here every step of the way. And you guys can hate on me, do it, try to slow me down, try to whatever. You can do whatever you want. You've been trying for the last 6 years. Nothing's worked. Nothing has worked. You can't slow me down. You can't stop me. You can't ridicule me. Hey, you can make all the stupid comments you want and fucking fun of me on your stupid radio shows and all that kind of stuff. I really fucking don't care. I really don't care. That shit just makes me stronger, motherfucker. Everything you guys do to hate on me, fucking hey, man, that's just fuel. And it makes me stronger. So thank you for that, at least. Thank you for making me a better person. See how that works? See, I say thank you for Charles Manson because I actually owe him for making me this and making me somebody. And you know what I just said right there? I said thank you to the haters who are watching this video who make these nasty comments about me. Thank you. I just thanked you because you make me stronger. I read the comments, I delete them, but I read them, and then that's it. Just makes me stronger, and I just keep moving forward, baby. I keep moving forward. So this train's going to keep rolling. So there you go. It just shows you, hey man, it takes a lot to piss me off. I'm not kidding you, man. I'm really not kidding. It really, really does. I've seen everything. I've been called everything. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, that shit is just so fucking true. And now to me, all that hate shit that I get from people, that's just, I swear to God, it goes in one ear and out the other. I don't know if it's the weed or whatever, but whatever it is, I just have it so under control that it actually, it fuels me and makes me a better person. So all you haters out there, thank you for making me a better person. Thank you, Charles Manson, for making me a better person. This is Stoner Van Houten here. Take care. We got more drama coming. next year. Enjoy the holidays with your family, regardless of what religion you are. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, and Merry Christmas. All right, to everybody, and have a happy New Year. We'll see how many more videos I got in me by the end of this year, but I don't think so. I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my time with my friends and family, too. Take care, everybody.
Well, I'm a small glass worker, and it fits me to a T. I'm a small glass worker, and it fits me to a T. If you want some family conversation, come on and stop along with me. Take it through with me now, down the Santa Susana Pass. I got lots of family knowledge, and I'm stoned off fast. I'm the small ranch worker, and it fits me to a T. If you want some family conversation, come on and smoke a bowl with me. Stoner Man.
Hey, happy. Take two. Happy holidays, everyone.